Well, if that doesn't say it, then President Obama is he's only partly mixed up. He's only a little mixed up because he's right about Russia policy, and he's just got this little thing about ground troops there. He's wrong about that one. But he's right about Russia, which is much more important. Starting a war with Russia would be a disaster and could result in a nuclear war. So President Obama deserves praise for his restraint. And he should tone his criticism down more, in fact. And we need to improve our bilateral relations with Russia. And of course, we need robust airstrikes. And well, I haven't gotten into Pakistan. Pakistan is taking a withering attack from Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is located in a region called Waziristan, which is in western India. And Afghanistan is to the west of Waziristan. So Al-Qaeda is fighting Afghanistan from one side, and Pakistan, I'm sorry, not Pakistan. Waziristan is in the western part of Pakistan, not India. I'm sorry. And Afghanistan is to the west of Waziristan. And Waziristan attacks Pakistan from one side and Afghanistan from the other side. Well, Pakistan's government is weakening because they're taking so much of an attack from Al-Qaeda that they're politically falling down or taking damage politically. And what we need to do, of course, is to reduce Al-Qaeda's capabilities in Waziristan. And the way you do that is by putting in 200,000 troops in Pakistan and 200,000 troops in Afghanistan, then sweeping them into the mountains of Waziristan, then carpet bombing them, and sending Apaches up there to flush them out and then carpet bombing them. And the alternative is to leave Pakistan in that weakened state, and with Al-Qaeda attacking them furiously. That's a mission that I came up with because I see that Pakistan has taken a pounding from Al-Qaeda in Waziristan. And they're also attacking Afghanistan. And we're scheduled to pull out of Afghanistan. Well, what's going to happen in Afghanistan after we pull out is Al-Qaeda will simply come rolling on in. So what we ought to do is leave behind a contingent force. We might want to leave a contingent force behind in Pakistan. See, what we'll do is what we need to do is put 200,000 troops in Pakistan, and 200,000 troops in Afghanistan, then go on the offensive and sweep Al-Qaeda into the mountains of Waziristan, then do a long bombing campaign, and then all these troops will come home. They're just there to go on an offensive and drive Al-Qaeda into Waziristan, and then they'll come home. And you can leave behind a residual force in Pakistan and Afghanistan. You might not need it in Pakistan. They have an army. You might want to leave 20,000 troops in Afghanistan. Possibly Pakistan also. We need to ask permission from the Pakistani government to allow us to put the 200,000 troops in there to sweep Al-Qaeda out. And of course that's a mission which needs to be done. And there's Yemen over there. What Yemen needs is F-16s and Apaches is what it needs. And maybe Cobras. To support that government against Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is attacking the Yemeni government. And so there's 2 missions right there which need to be done. The Yemeni government is weak. Here, of course, Pakistan is a nuclear power, and if we lose control of that government to Al-Qaeda, they could, you could get loose nukes, is what you could get, or they could try to fire those nuclear-tipped medium-range missiles, because you're getting radical elements in their government, and Pakistan, again, it's weakened. And Yemen, of course, the government is weak there. They're taken attack by Al-Qaeda, and that would give a beachhead to Al-Qaeda against Saudi Arabia. Here in Egypt, here in the Sinai Peninsula, is it? Al-Qaeda is fighting Egypt from the north. And you see, Al-Qaeda is all over the place. But what's weak is Pakistan, though, and that's dangerous because there are nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles there. And Yemen, of course, would give them a beachhead against Saudi Arabia. So I would want to defend those 2 spots. And of course, we need to worry about ISIL as well. ISIL is a potent force, and they're simply destructive, is what they are, and they're quite brutal. And that's the real enemy, terrorism. Mr. Assad is not the enemy. Mr. Assad is simply a brutal dictator, but he's not a terrorist, though. He used some gas on his own people, but that's different from a terrorist organization like ISIL. He just wanted to show that he's a mean guy. And of course, chemical weapons have very little capability. They have no military capabilities. And of course, when you're talking terrorism, the threat is much larger than Mr. Assad's use of chemical weapons. When you look at ISIL or Al-Qaeda attacking Pakistan, or Al-Qaeda attacking the Yemeni government, you see that terrorism is a substantial threat to our vital national security interests. It's nearly 11. And that's what's going on in foreign affairs, and I haven't gotten into our nuclear strategy and so forth. But I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to fix some things. Our Russia policy is okay. Our rhetoric is too harsh, though, and those sanctions have to go. You shouldn't be putting sanctions on Mr. Putin. No, that's the incorrect policy. That just raises tension between the U.S. and Russia. And starting a war with Russia would be even worse. And the arsenals need to be de-alerted. But going into that policy, it's going to morph off. No one even sees these. My morphers just is the election, my morphers in Russia policy. Some of it got through to Mr. Obama, President Obama. And he said sphere of influence. And I heard one of our NATO allies say, I heard Cameron said stability as well. That's right. We want stability in Pakistan, but we don't have it. We want stability in Yemen, but we don't have it. We want stability in Egypt. You shouldn't, you don't want to knock off the Assad regime or Mr. Assad, because what you'd leave behind would be a disgruntled army that would become guerrillas and terrorists, and you'd create a chaos. You'd add to the chaos in Syria, because you would have the remnants of Assad's regime and his military to contend with, and who would inherit it. Well, the terrorists will be making a grab, and then you have the remnants of Assad's regime, and they may become guerrillas and terrorists as well. And so you really wouldn't want to bring down the Assad regime. You'd get another Iraq, is what you'd get. And as soon as we pull out of Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda will come rolling on in. You really ought to leave behind a contingent force of about 20,000. And we really need to take on Al-Qaeda in Waziristan.